7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Camera's just not so. Alright, hi everyone. I just wanted to make a follow-up video for my So You Want an Aussie video, because it's almost a year since we've had Aspen, and so I thought it would be a good idea to kind of revisit the points that I had mentioned a year ago, and then just tell you kind of how my thoughts have changed, or if they have changed at all, and that'll give you a better idea of what to expect in the long term with an Australian Shepherd. Alright, so I think that the first point that I had talked about when I was filming a few months ago when we first got Aspen was that Australian Shepherds have a tendency to nip, and fortunately we've been able to get rid of that behavior quite a bit. Do you have to move me in my chair? Yeah, fortunately we've been able to get rid of that behavior quite a bit, and so she hardly ever nips now. Really, that behavior is gone. So I would say that nipping is very frustrating. In the beginning, it was something that took a really long time to get rid of, but in the end, she's not nipping anymore. So it's possible, definitely, to get rid of that kind of behavior. Now, when it comes to her being really vocal, she's still very, very vocal. She is more whiny now than actually barking. So for example, she's made it a habit to whine at the table, and that's partially our fault because she does get table scraps every once in a while, so that's kind of our fault. But she is very whiny when people come to the door. She vocalizes a lot, but it's not necessarily as much barking as it is whining now. The other thing that I think I talked about in the last video about her was that we were having issues with, or were we having issues with stuff? What were we having issues with? Oh, affection. So affection is something that shocked me a bit with this breed. I would say that she has warmed up more now than she was 6 months ago or 7 months ago. She still is not as affectionate as breeds that I was used to. So, how do I say it, really? She has slept on my bed a couple of times. It's really not become a regular thing. She's not the type of dog that likes to be pet very much. She's more the type of dog where if she wants affection, she'll come up to you to get it, but she doesn't like receiving affection out of nowhere. But she's the same kind of dog as what I was explaining in my previous video. She is very much the type of dog that likes to play with you in order to have affection and interact with you in a loving way. She doesn't like to just cuddle very much. She would rather be, you know, chasing a ball with you or playing in the snow with you or whatever it may be. The next thing that I wanted to also talk about was the fact that I think I forgot in the beginning to admit that she was having issues with urinating as well. She tended to urinate when she got really excited or really scared from something, and so we had to struggle with that too as she was getting older, because at the beginning it was basically to the point where every time someone came into the door or something new happened, like she saw a brownie box on the table counter or anything new like that, she would pee. And so we had to work with her. We got rid of that behavior a lot, but basically all that we've been doing is we've been making sure that she goes outside and doesn't have a full bladder in any instance that she's going to have someone new come into the house or something new being introduced to her. So I think that's pretty self-explanatory, but we haven't had very many issues with urinating anymore, but I think that's something that I forgot to mention in the previous video. What have we been having issues with now? I think one of the main things is just her energy level. It's very hard to get this kind of dog tired. So she basically, if you run her for an hour outside, she'll sleep for half an hour and then she'll be up and completely rewired and ready to go. So, I mean, this breed is impossible to get super tired. That might change as she ages. She might get more and more tired and more laid back, but I don't know yet. And we'll see. We'll just see how it goes. But the issues that we've had is that she's not obeying a lot. This breed is very smart. Like I said in my previous video, that's one of the things that is a plus, but it's also a minus. This breed knows what's wrong, but they definitely love to test the limits a lot. So the issue that we've been having is that it's snowing outside and there's probably like a good 1.5 feet of snow, and she's escaped out of the front door once. Not my fault, someone else's fault, but she escaped out the front door and she just was not going to even listen to us. She knew that she was free and she just took off, and basically we had to tackle her and get her back inside. But we've also had issues with letting her out in the backyard, and she doesn't like to listen. She knows what she's supposed to do. She knows she's supposed to sit and wait for me to put on her her leash, but she understands too that she's faster than me, and she has realized that. So it's hard to get the breed to obey. We're working on that right now, but it's the first full snow season, the first full winter season that we've had her. So we're having to deal with that. But I think that's what I talked about in my first video. That's kind of where we're at now. Nipping was an issue to begin with. Definitely able to get rid of it. The affection thing, again, not the same as every other breed. I came in with an expectation that it would be similar to what I had before. And it's fine. She does show affection. She just shows affection in a very different way than other breeds that I've had. So I think people that have other breeds, have had other breeds of dogs, have to be ready to understand that there's going to be a difference in the type of affection that you do get. Vocalization, still very vocal. She's just kind of switched from barking to whining. And what else? The smarts are still the main issue. It's a wonderful thing too when it comes to training, because she gets everything so quickly, but it's also an issue because she is very much in a toddler state of mind where she knows that she's not supposed to do things, but she loves to kind of poke and prod at us and see how much she can get away with. So I think that sums it up. All right, so I hope that kind of goes over some of the things that I had previously mentioned in my first video on what to expect when you get an Australian Shepherd, and then it gives you kind of an idea of, you know, a year or so. I guess it's more like six or 7 months, because technically we got her when she was 2 months old. I don't know. It's a good span of time after the video was filmed, and it gives you kind of an update on how it's changed with age and just my opinions still. Again, like I said in my other video, Other Australian Shepherds might be extremely different, but I find that most Australian Shepherds are high energy, very vocal, and they also have the issue with nipping, so my dog is pretty mainstream when it comes to Australian Shepherds. Again, if you have any questions, you can always leave them down in the comments. And yeah, she's almost 1. I can't believe it. She'll be 1 on the 23rd of January. So I cannot believe that she is almost 1. That just, time flies, apparently. Anyways, thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye.